fantastic. The only thing is that as an entrepreneur, that never build up a good team and set the big vision, but milestones and go on, never give up. You might have a lot of problems, right? But you can see the problem you're facing, your competitor will face it too.
Yeah.
And you think you have a lot of tough days, but your competitor may have a much easier. You never know, right? So you say that the competition within you is not is the speed of solving the problems. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. This is my first morning in Africa, and I'm expecting this day for a long time. Well, this is the best gift I've ever got from Dr. Kutui. That this morning talking to you guys reminds me of my early days. And I see from your eyes, from your heart, what you tell, it's the passion, the inspirations, the dream that you have. I remember 1995 when I came back from the States. I visited the USA for 29 days, and I discovered the internet. So I came back to China and say, I want to do something called internet. But there is no such word called internet before, and there's no such word called internet on the dictionary. So the government does not let me to register a company called internet. Since I had no background on technology, know nothing about computer, even to today, I know very little about computers. Because I don't think you have to know anything before you do it. The great thing I see from your eyes that I know you don't have a lot of know-hows. And those people have a lot of know-hows don't want to do it. The entrepreneurs, you start with a dream. You start with a belief. And you also have to start with a group of people believe the dream. So I came back to China and I said I want to do something called internet. China was not even connected to the internet in 1994. So it was very difficult to convince people there's something called internet. That was tough. People say you're telling a lie. That
本视频有可能会改变您的一生。改革开放以来，第一批个体户发了，第一批炒地皮的发了，第一批买原始股的发了，第一批搞互联网的发了，第一批做网商的发了。为什么这么多第一批发了？因为他们都凭借眼光和行动力，牢牢地抓住了时代赋予的商机。如今还有什么第一批轮到我们？全球经济每隔3到5年就会有一次重大机遇出现。恭喜您，互联网+的时代到来，您有机会成为第一批云商。只要您牢牢把握住，您也会成为第一批富起来的人，从而改变命运。
现在不是钱难赚了，而是赚钱的方式变了。如今互联网时代，你是否想过让手机变成我们赚钱的工具？如果你现在很迷茫，找不到赚钱的方向，那么这就是你最佳的事业机会。一部手机，一台电脑，人到哪里，钱就赚到哪里。让你在玩手机的同时，可以玩出不错的收入。在这里，有人教，有人帮，有人带，没有风险，没有压力。想赚钱，加高峰教练微信13526806395。
精彩在后面等着你。
I know this thing exists, and I know it takes time to convince people. By convincing people, it's not convincing people by words. You have to convince people by results. I made a lot of speech in the early days, and even now I still talking to a lot of people. I came here today here not to selling China products, because you have got enough Chinese products. I came here to share with you the entrepreneur spirit and the dreams. This is what I learned from the other part of the world. I learned from the American dreams. I learned from many other startups in the whole world that the dream, how they do it. I think the very important is that making sure your dream can be realized, making sure your dream makes steps by step every week, every month. And making sure that your employees believe it, making sure your customers are happy. Because if your customer happy, your employees are happy, the shareholder will be happy. Do not try to spend a lot of time with your shareholders. Spend enough time with your customers. Spend enough time with your employees. And even do not spend a lot of time with the competitors, because we are all so early stage. The best way to compete, to fight against your competitor is your customers, is your colleagues. So it was early days was tough. I was the number 7 guy in China connected to the internet. The speed was so slow. You would never imagine, because in order to prove that I was not the thief, people telling lie. So I invited the TV friends. I've got some university schoolmates. They work in the TV station. So I invite them to come to my room and say, with a camera, and I want to tell there is something called internet. It took us 3 hours and a half to download the first front page of my website. But at least to prove there's internet there. Yesterday when I arrived in Nairobi, the speed of internet, was so fast. It's so fast. You guys are lucky. Because it was so much better than the days when I started. And I think with such a great infrastructure of the internet you have, with so many people in the world today know about the internet, there today more than 1.7 billion people are already online. But at that time, total China, less than like 500 people using internet. It's difficult. But as I said just now in the other room, everybody, when you have a dream, you have to dream globally, but you have to win locally. You have to survive today, but you also have to think about the future. If you do not think about the future, if you do not have a vision for 10 years later, what will you be? You will never have a great people follow you and join your company. But if you cannot survive, you go nowhere. Right? No matter how big dream is, it is telling a lie. So the thing I proved when I started my business, I failed for 1995. I started the first internet company. Did not work out. So I joined the government for working for 13 months as a part-time contractor. Did not work out. So 1999, I started my Alibaba.com in my apartment. And I know I may not succeed, but I told my 18 founders that first, even if we fail, some people will win. Internet is the future. E-commerce is the future. No matter you like it or not, 80% or 90% of business in next 30 years will be online. And no matter what, the best way to serve the world is internet. So I know that if I cannot make it, somebody will make it. So I continue to make it. And then the second thing I tried to prove is that if Jack Ma can be succeed, 80% of the young people can be successful. We don't have money. We don't have a relationship. I don't have a powerful, rich father, even though we don't have a rich father or uncle that can sponsor us. Everything we do is the 18 founders. We believe the future. We make progress. Even among the 18 founders, we only have 3 engineers. Among the 3 engineers, only one of them had a 3 years experience at university, study computer. The other 2, they are like amateur computer. When they open it, they don't know how to fix it. Start from there to today, we have 25,000 engineers in our company. And nobody come to buy and sell. For the first 2 weeks, terrible. We built an e-commerce company, nobody come to sell. So we have to list our own products on there, waited for 2 weeks, nobody come to buy. So we have to buy ourselves. And then the first month, some people come to sell things on our site. We buy everything. So we buy a whole house of rubbish for the whole month. We started. Nobody believed e-commerce. Until today, or last year, we sold $550 billion US from nothing to $550 billion. And I think compared So yesterday was big sales, but compared to 10 years later, we are nothing. So this is what I want to say. The great ideas I heard in the next room inspired me and changed mine. You are guys are the hope of Africa. And I believe 15 years ago, 18 years in my apartment, I told my team, we are the hope of China. Because we are the guys without any resources. If we can make it, most people can make it. If most people like us, without money, without resources, only with the dream and belief, if we can make succeed, China will be successful. You guys are the hope of Africa. Because what I see, I did not see you guys a lot of money. Because great entrepreneurs should not have money. If you have money in your mind, this is US dollars, this is RMB, and you're talking like English pounds. Nobody will work with like. If you have a good dream, if you have a plan to making progress, things will happen. And I changed my mind to this morning. Just a half an hour there, I would do more things in Africa. And the only thing I want to do is not to sell products here. And I will enable you to sell your dreams all over the world in Africa. Supporting entrepreneurs is always my dream, because I know how tough it is to be an entrepreneur. It is difficult. I never cry. I said, I only make my competitors cry. Because if I cry, I'll probably die 100 times. Because we have to encourage our team, and I say, making sure that we can survive tomorrow. As I said, before I answer your question, I want to say this is my belief. And this is what I tell every day to myself. Today is difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult. But the day of tomorrow is beautiful. Most people die tomorrow evening. Even today, as my size, for our company's size, I still believe today is very difficult. I have more problems than anybody here can imagine. You say, now you are big. You make billions of dollars every quarter. I have much more problems than you have. Much more headache than you have. When I was young, 18 years ago, I thought, what if I can make my company bigger? Then I can cigar, lie on the beach. I have a lot of people work for me. I thought that would, now the company is getting bigger, my problem is getting bigger. I've gotten much busier. But this is our life. One day, when you pick up the job as an entrepreneur, this is your life you pick up. Don't complain. Where is the opportunity? The opportunity always lies in the place where people complain. If you solve the complaint, you got a problem. You got an opportunity. This is what I believe. And also, as an entrepreneur, I think most of the projects I heard there is about platform. You guys are building a platform. The essence of building